Hi, it's Susanna from Savile Travel, and this is the Grand Sirenis Resort and Spa, which is on the Riviera Maya in Mexico. We stayed here for 14 nights, and every room here is a junior suite. It's 946 rooms in total, so not a massive resort. Some in Mexico and Dominican in the Caribbean, they are huge, like 2,000, 3,000 rooms. So I think this one was quite a nice size for what we wanted. The resort itself had 3 main swimming pools and also had a lazy river, which was a great option and really the real reason why we booked this. Having a young son, we wanted to have something a bit extra for him to do to keep him entertained. The resort, when we stayed, had quite a lot of young Americans there at the time. I think it was spring break, so if I was going to book again, I would book at a different time of year, just because they could get a little bit rowdy around the pool areas. The hotel itself is sort of almost split into 2. There's 2 buffet restaurants. It's like a hotel that sort of mirrors each other. So this is sort of the centre area here, where you can see the sort of main reception, big staircase going up to where the restaurants were. The food was a really good standard. There were several bars and restaurants dotted around, which included a la carte restaurants as well. As I mentioned, there was 2 buffets. The hotel is laid out quite nicely, lots of lush greenery everywhere, lots of flowers, lots of wildlife as well. So it's quite a nice, interesting place to go, somewhere a little bit different to your sort of standard package holiday. This was all inclusive when we stayed, and definitely you benefit from that, so I think that's well worth doing. There was a spa as well, but we didn't actually use the spa as we were with our young son. Very tropical botanical gardens which wrap around the whole hotel, even through sort of the lazy river and around the pool areas. There's also something to mention by the pool area. There is a swim up bar, which is great. That's a bit of a nice sort of novelty to go and cool off and go and grab a drink. My son definitely liked that. Also by the pool is an ice cream bar. This was perfect. You could just literally go anytime it was open, go and grab an ice cream. So again, this was great for kids. With the wildlife, as you can see here, lots and lots of lizards around. No reason to be scared by these at all. They're quite sort of nervous of you, really. We even saw raccoons and different other animals that I wouldn't even know the names of. We enjoyed quite a lot of time in the pool areas. The pools were warm, quite warm, because the weather itself was very hot. They also had these sort of day beds as well that you could use. The lazy river was lovely. Again, open all the time. You could just go and jump on, grab a ring, relax, and just go round at whatever pace you wanted to. We probably did this sort of 2 or 3 times a day, really, just to break up the sunbathing. In the evening, they did lots of shows, which was brilliant. As you can see here, there's lots of fire shows out on the beach. This was a nice touch, because sometimes, when the weather's hot, you don't want to be stuck inside watching a show. So that meant that we could sort of get out. We did also just spend the evenings playing cards and games and things like that in the reception areas, or where there was some nice seating. I used to get up quite early with the bit of jet lag. We flew from England, from Gatwick. It was quite tired, and did take me quite a while to get used to the time difference. As you can see here, I sat on the beach quite a few mornings and just watched the sun come up. So I did get some lovely photographs on the beach just as the sun was rising. Beach itself, as you can see here, powdery white sands, absolutely stunning. Really enjoyed the beach. You've got lovely turquoise waters. It wasn't completely calm and still, the water, a little bit choppy, but you could still snorkel, and you could still see different things. Obviously, you just got to be a little bit careful of some of the rocks as you're getting in. There was a dive centre as well here, where we did actually book up a little trip where we went out. We don't actually dive, we just snorkel, but as I said, you can definitely do that here. The beach just went for miles and miles. You could kind of walk around quite far as well, and there were different rocky areas, different bits to investigate. Round by the rocks as well, you could see lots of little tiny fishes, so it made it quite interesting. Lots of coconuts everywhere on the beach as well. As I said, lots of little coves, as you can see here. You've got some very sort of still water that you could sort of grab and just stick your head in with your mask and just see what's going on in the sea. The fish here weren't particularly colourful, wasn't anything like really amazing, not like you'd get in sort of Egypt or Maldives, but I'm sure if you went out and about there would be different areas where you would see a lot more than we did. Because our son was quite young at the time that we travelled here, we did sort of stick around the beach and the hotel and just went out a couple of times but didn't venture too far. Coming up here is a small fish. These were sort of coloured fish that you would see, so nothing too amazing. A couple of starfish as well. We saw also do kayaking and get little boats and go out on the sea. So this is us when we went to the dive area and decided to take a boat out. We were sort of quite excited about this. My little boy hadn't snorkeled with turtles before, so we thought this would be a real treat for him. So we went out on the boat. It was lovely, well organised, no issues. They gave us the life jackets and everything that we needed. So I think it's worth booking it through your hotel just to make sure that you're safe and there's no problems. We weren't disappointed whatsoever. We got in the water and away we went, and my little boy was not scared at all. The guides were really good, and he was actually up the front with one of the guides in the end, like shouting to everybody, come here, there's turtles. So yeah, we saw these beautiful creatures in the sea. Didn't have to go that far out to see them either. So I think this is worth spending the money on. If you go all the way to Mexico, you want to see something amazing, and these guys were particularly special. They do take your breath away quite a bit actually, and there were lots of them as well, so you definitely wouldn't miss out. You know, if you went out there and you only were in the water a little bit, you would definitely see one. There were stingrays as well about, lots of fish, sea urchins and starfish, so plenty to see. Was a really good trip out. So the Grand Sirenis, would I recommend it? Yes, I really would, and I think it's great for kids because you've got the lazy river. Obviously there aren't any flumes or anything additional for the children particularly, but with the ice cream parlour as well and the child friendliness of the resort, I would give this a 4 out of 5.